Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I'm thrilled to be back with you today, discussing a story that has touched countless hearts over the centuries, the parable of the prodigal son. This parable, rich in symbolism and meaning, is a treasure trove of life lessons that we can incorporate into our daily lives. The story is a simple yet profound one. It revolves around a young man, the younger of two sons, who decides to ask his father for his share of the family inheritance ahead of time. This in itself was a bold, even disrespectful request. In essence, he was wishing his father dead. Yet the father, in his love, grants the son's request. The son then leaves his home and squanders his wealth on a life of recklessness and indulgence. Eventually, the money runs out, and the son finds himself in dire straits, forced to take a job feeding pigs. It's here, in his lowest moment, that he realizes his folly. He decides to return home, hoping to work as a servant in his father's house. But his father, seeing him from a distance, runs to him, embraces him, and welcomes him back as a son, not a servant. The father even throws a grand feast to celebrate his return. There are so many facets to this story, so many lessons we can glean. Here are 7 that I believe are particularly impactful. 1. We have free will. The younger son chose to leave his father's house, just as we have the freedom to make our own choices. But with that freedom comes responsibility. We must be prepared to face the consequences of our actions. 2. We must take responsibility for our actions. The son realized he'd made a mistake. He could have stayed with the pigs, wallowing in self-pity. Instead, he chose to return home and face his father. He was ready to apologize and accept any punishment. 3. There is joy in repentance. The father's joy at his son's return is palpable. It's a beautiful picture of how God rejoices when we turn away from our wrongdoings and return to Him. 4. Mercy is a gift. The father could have punished his son or turned him away. Instead, he chose to forgive him. This mercy was a gift, given freely and abundantly. 5. We are all valuable. Despite his mistakes, the son was still valuable to his father. His worth wasn't tied to his actions or his wealth, but to his identity as a son. Similarly, we are valuable to God, not because of what we do or don't do, but simply because we are His. 6. Don't hold grudges. The older brother struggled with this. He couldn't understand why his father would welcome back his wayward brother. But holding on to anger and resentment only hurts us. It's a lesson in forgiveness and understanding. 7. Love is unconditional. The father's love for his son wasn't based on his behavior. It was unconditional, steadfast. This is a reflection of God's love for us, unchanging, unfailing, and undeterred by our mistakes. These lessons, gleaned from a simple parable, have the power to transform our lives if we let them. They remind us of our worth, our ability to change, and the joy of reconciliation. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the parable of the prodigal son and want to explore more topics like this, don't forget to subscribe or follow me on my social media accounts. I'm always sharing thoughts, reflections, and discussions there, and I'd love